Hello, I'm Dynasty Demir. We're here in Gambia at the beach, right outside of Banjul. Beautiful beaches. Guys, you gotta come visit Gambia. It's absolutely beautiful. Here with my BLAXIT family, about to eat some dinner. Gambia is beautiful, y'all. Sorry about that.
Okay, turn the music down a little bit for me, please.
Oh yeah, he'll do it. He's only doing it in the meantime.
Okay, cool. Yeah, what I was saying is that no, if you're Anglo-Saxon, you're not black, as far as I'm concerned. And like Peter Tosh said, if your skin is black, then you're an African. So, you know, and everybody knows that song. So as far as I'm concerned, yeah, we have the culture, we have the language, but we're not of them. We're outsiders. And we know that we're outsiders, and we're made to feel that we're outsiders every day in every way.
Right.
So for me, I think people that want to be like that is a mindset. And it depends on your mindset. I was always brought up to really appreciate my African culture. However, not all parents bring their children up in that way.
Right.
So it depends on how you're brought up. I know people who don't want to associate or be seen as black. They'll do everything not to be black. It's the truth. Mm-hmm. They will have a white pair. They will go and find a white partner. Mm-hmm. They will have white friends.
And be jet black as this leather couch.
Yeah, blacker than a leather couch even. And they don't want to be. And they'll bleach themselves white as well, not to be. And then they create a whole persona around it. And it's not until they face some real sincere and some devastated racism.
They get there, as we say, your N-word wake-up call.
Oh, yeah. And you get that hardcore in England, yeah?
Right.
And they don't care. I mean, recently I was listening to a clip about Doreen Lawrence, and she talked about Grenfell Tower. And she was saying about the racism that existed within the fact that those people weren't treated as well as they should have been. Those people were not given the kind of emergency services that they should have been allocated to them. Treated the same as if they were white. That's what she said.
Of course.
And she came under fire. She came under fire for saying that. Because one thing I'll tell you about living in England and living amongst white people, I've never heard them admit to being racist once in my life.
Of course not. Who's going to do that this day and age? I mean, you have some white supremacists that will do it, but I mean, who's going to admit to being racist?
They never do. They never do. So therefore, the situation is always going to perpetuate itself. The only way to eradicate racism is to leave it behind. Yeah? The only way to eradicate racism is to leave it behind. Get out. Yeah?
I need you guys to hear this. I need you to repeat this again. Say that again. Say that again.
I said the only way to eradicate racism is to leave it behind and to get out. To get out. If you stay in a racist environment, then you'll always be plagued with racism. If you come home, what racism are you going to face? You face love.
Well, hold on, but Juliet, the Africans call us a kata. They call us a kata.
What's that?
Now, my point.
I don't even know what that is. They call me brother and sister, yeah? They call me sister and brother. I don't get called anything else, yeah?
Right.
And if they do, I don't understand what they say, so don't bother me anyway. but the point is that I think there are issues, you know, with resettlement, depending on who you are. I'm a warm person, and so I treat everybody like my brother and my sister, and so everybody treats me the same, and so I haven't faced any kind of, or maybe because of who I am, I haven't faced any issues like that. Right. So I've been very fortunate, you see, very, very fortunate, and I just share love, and I get love, I give love, and it's as simple as that. Right. But, you know, there are also misgivings that people have to work out.
True.
You know, everybody has misconceptions, but if you go to Africa, a lot of people, they want to go to the West anyway, so.
What are your thoughts about that? So somebody even asked me today, they were like, when I was on the boat, I want to come to America with you. In fact, when I was in Gambian immigration control, the guy was like, you have U.S. passport and Nigerian passport, which is can I come to the U.S. with you? I want to come back to America with you. This is Ghanaian immigration. Like, so when the Africans find out you're from Britain and they want to go to Britain, and you're like, no, you need to stay here. Like, what are your response to them usually?
Well, to be honest with you, I tell them that you're in a better place here, just that you don't realise it, because all you've done is see the gloss and the glamour of England, but you've not seen the reality of England. In the same way that the only thing that they perpetuate and promote about Africa is all the negative things, and what they promote and perpetuate about their own country is only positive things. But if you were to take the glamour away, you'd see the reality. So I told them not to come. I was on a I was on a TV show, called Harona on Paradise TV, and Harona interviewed me, and he asked me, and I broke down because I was just seeing the story of one of my subscribers from BLAXIT, and she wrote to me and she told me about her family and what happened. Well, basically, her family was from Sudan, and they decided that they wanted to go to Backway in order to get, by Backway I mean, illegally get back into Europe. And so she told me about the story that her father was now living in Italy. So I asked her, well, she told me the story about her mum and her dad, and I spoke to her on the phone because I was that concerned about the letter that she wrote to me. But she described in detail how the boat tipped over, it capsized, and how the father, who couldn't swim, hung onto the rim of the boat for his dear life, and he watched his wife and 2 children drown. And recalling that story while I was on the TV show, it just made me have floods of tears, because people are literally taking their life in their own hands when they're going to these places. They also face, really badly, dangerous situations.
Right.
In Libya, a friend of ours who went the back way, he got bombed in a building.
Did he survive, or?
No, he got blown to smithereens. Sorry, there wasn't a piece of him left. Just a few things to identify him, quite literally. So we've seen the bad side of going back to England, and not only that, whilst living in England, I also worked in homelessness. So I saw a lot of our brothers and sisters living homeless, and I used to cry. Literally, I'll be giving out food, giving out hot drinks, giving out clothing, and I would just cry, because to think that you come all this way to end up sleeping in, Stratford Centre in East London.
Right.
Because you've got nowhere to live. You've got dirt caked on your skin. You're in the same smelly clothes, and you've got nowhere to live, and you're sleeping in a shopping mall. Come on. Is this the dream? And the problem is, a lot of people also, have this dream about making all this money.
Right.
And living this fancy life, but that life isn't afforded to them. In fact, for us even born in England, we have to struggle to survive.
Right.
And we get the qualifications, we've got the language, and we're brought up there, and we find it hard to survive.
Glass ceiling.
And then the problem I have is that when we do get the money, sometimes we don't spend it in the right way. We go and we spend it with the exact same person who's oppressed us all our life. How does that make any sense?
And circulate it back into their own community.
Exactly.
Right. Then complain, now they're oppressing us, but then spend money and circulate it.
Yeah, we go and buy their trinkets.
Right.
What are we buying their trinkets for?
I'm
what are we
guilty.
buying their name products for?
I'm guilty.
What are we doing it for? It makes absolutely no sense. It's better you come home and you put your taxes here.
Right.
You put your money here. You put your investment here. You reinvest where you come from. That's the only way that you're going to build your own home. You can't build your own home using someone else's bricks. And that's what we've been doing.
What about the argument that's, like, especially coming from a Black America's perspective, since we built America, we built it brick by brick. There's a debt that's still owed to us, in that America is just as ours as the white man. Like, what would be, coming from a British perspective, when you hear Black Americans say that, what would be your response to that?
People in England say the same thing. You've got to remember that, us from the Caribbean also had the same experience. We built England. We built Scotland. We built London. We built all the banking systems. We built the insurance companies. We built the cotton industry. In fact, we're the energy and the power and the money behind the Industrial Revolution. So we built everything. It's not a doubt of whether we built it or not. The point of it, are you in control of it? And that's why I say there's a difference. When you come here, you can gain control. There, you don't have control. It doesn't matter if you built it. If you don't have control, it's like they say, there's an old Jamaican saying, yeah? If I've got the handle and you've got the blade, who's in control? They've got the handle, we're holding on to the blade, and we're doing is getting cut. Getting cut. They're killing our brothers and sisters in on the street, at swimming pools, in your own house. You know, they're killing us willy-nilly because they got the handle and we got the blade. But in Africa, you have the blade.
Right.
In Africa, you have the handle, sorry.
What I was saying, in America, they force us to build our city against our will.
Right.
You know, they work us with unpaid labor to build those cities. And it's important that we realize that if we could build America, we can build Africa.
Right.
You know, because it was a forceful labor, just like in the UK. So that's why they have no respect for us. You know, so yeah, I could understand the argument where black people may want to claim what they've done there in the US. I even see Donald Trump came out and said, let's not forget the contribution that the Africans made to the US. But he's not talking about reparations.
Right.
No.
Because there's repairs that they need to make. You know, because our labor was free. That's what they're not saying. And it was against our will. You know? So yes, I do understand what my brothers and sisters saying. But as Marcus Garvey once said, we must be able to go and build back Africa. You know?
Right. So, okay, so the other argument will be, why go to Africa when the white man is everywhere? White supremacy is in Gambia, Africom is everywhere, and then the Chinese control Africa. So we should just stay in America and stay in Britain. What would be the response to that?
Well, the response is that the Chinese don't control Africa like they control China.
Right.
So that's a myth. Yeah, it's a fallacy. Secondly, Africa, when you look around, who you see in control of your own shop? You're in control of your own shop.
Right.
You're in control of your own home. You're in control of your own destiny here. You can make change here. You can't impose that change everywhere else. When I talk about, oh, Indians are here and Chinese are here, but we are the majority.
Right.
We mustn't forget that. And there's power in numbers. And that is what it is. When I come here and I see the odd Indian here or there, it doesn't affect me like I was when I was living in England.
Right.
When I see the odd white here and there coming on holiday and going home, it doesn't affect me like when I was in England. There's no comparison in England. 90% of the population are whites.
Right.
Yeah, here 90% of the population are black and they don't have that control. I think that's another myth that's been perpetuated by them in order to deter us from coming home. Sorry, Age, you go ahead.
Yeah, so basically that's a very important question. And what I would like to say is that the Chinese might be in Africa doing what they're doing, but they still control China.
Right.
The white man might be in Africa doing what they're doing, but they still control Europe and America. But we as black people there that understand their mentality, understand how they think, we need to come back here and control Africa. We need to come back here and drive them out of Africa. Right. Africa is ours. And no one should come into your own home and take it over and you sit where they put you. Because that's what they do. They take us and scatter us around the globe, put us in place like the Caribbean, where it's taken up by hurricanes, disaster.
Right.
So we need to come back as strong men and women of African descent and take back this country. Take it back from the Chinese, it's ours. Take it back from the white man, drive them out. Idi Amin had that idea, you know, so we just need to come back here, work with the governments here, and take back control and close our borders from them. Because they need Africa, Africa don't need them. Yeah? The West need Africa to survive, Africa don't need the West to survive.
No.
What they're trying to do is create this illusion that we need them. We don't. We have the most resourceful things here in Africa. So yes, as my brothers and sisters in the diaspora, come back. Let's take back this country, let's take back Africa. That's our mission, that's what we need to do. The black man must protect Africa, and the black man must be in control of Africa and drive all them unwanted guests out. That's what it is.
But not only that, in America, the black community alone
Right.
have 1.2 trillion.
They control nothing. They control nothing.
Thank you.
Control nothing.
Exactly. So imagine.
But
if
then
you
the
took
argument
that
is,
one, two-
but the argument is, well, the Africans don't control nothing in Africa, so.
Yeah, but they do. But they do. But they do. And that's what I'm saying. That's a fallacy. That's a myth. They do. They have more control than you have in America.
Yeah.
They have more control than we have in England. They have more control than we have even in the Caribbean. So that's not true. Yeah, the truth is that when they want to do things here, they do it. When they want to own things here, they own it. Yeah, they have more ownership here than we ever had. In fact, this has been if you like, a journey of discovery for me.
Go ahead.
Like I said, in terms of reparations, that's a must. There's no doubt about it. So in terms of what we're saying about in America, and we own it, but where's your 40 acres and a mule? You ain't even got that yet.
Nope.
Why don't you work on that first?
And what they do now, it's to the point now, even in predominantly black communities, they automatically devalue. It's just the minute you have a predominantly black community, they automatically devalue your real estate in your community, just off top. Doesn't matter who you are, they just automatically devalue it.
Yeah.
So you could be the same. You could have the same black families making the same income as the white families in a community around the corner, but they devalue your real estate just off top. So
yeah, I mean, in England they have what's called gentrification.
well, that too. That's global.
Yeah, and that happens a lot, in fact. So the same areas that before were relatively cheap for us to go and live, we're driven out, and those prices are driven up, so we can no longer afford to buy there.
Right.
And so we're then pushed into the suburbs, and these suburbs, you know, are more intensively white. They have more racism, more discrimination, and you know, it's a tough deal. It's a tough deal for black people, especially in England, that I know of. My experience of going to America, I've been to America about 8 times, and you know, I didn't really like America. I'm going to be honest with you.
No, you're not missing
I felt oppressed. In England, I felt really oppressed, but in America, I felt not only oppressed, but I felt unsafe.
Right.
Very unsafe. In Africa, I feel very safe. But in America, I felt very unsafe, and in England, I felt unsafe. But I think one of the things that we have to stress to our brothers and sisters coming home is that if you want to be in control of your destiny, you need to be in Africa.
Right.
It's simple. It's simple. We built a lot of things all over the planet, not just in America and not just in England, but all over the planet. We are responsible. And Europe, all over Europe, we are responsible, and our ancestors are responsible. But the fact of the matter is, when you come to Africa, you've got more control, you've got more input, and you have more contribution into society, into government, and into your own life and the direction that it's going to be led in. It's not that you just have to do a job; you can choose a job.
Right.
Yeah, you can choose a business and make it work. Wow, this is Africa.
Yeah. This is Africa.
You can make it work. You can make it work. And the weird thing is that here you're more supported. Like, you have a black business in England. I'm gonna be honest with you. The amount of black businesses that I saw closed down
In England
because of lack of support.
Oswald Boateng's still over there. Oswald Boateng.
Yeah, the designer.
Yeah, I like Oswald.
Yeah, I
I like
interviewed
Oswald.
him a long
You did.
time ago
I like
for the
Oswald.
Voice newspaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I interviewed him. He's a very, very, very nice brother. And what I'm saying is that a lot of us, when we integrate in England, we also assimilate.
Right.
And then when we do that, it's like we lose ourselves. We lose ourselves in the process. And we also lose our African soul. And then once, you know, some of us from the black community then marry into the white community, we then disregard our black community, our black families, and we divorce ourselves from them. And then the whole wealth cycle goes down again.
Right.
So the economics that you built up, that was inherited wealth maybe from your grandfather and grandmother, all the money that you put into the country then goes back to the very same people that oppressed you in the first place.
Right.
And that is a vicious cycle that's going on now. And it's getting worse. It's getting worse. And it's not pleasant, because then sometimes those very same black people that have gone into those relationships then turn and hate their own people.
Hate their own people.
And it's heartbreaking for me when I see they can't even look at you in your face as a black sister. They're controlled by the white woman that they're walking with, or by the white man that they're walking with. They can't even engage or give eye contact. And that for me, seeing that, especially a lot when I lived outside of London, was heartbreaking for me. You know, because you're already isolated, and then, you know, you look to a brother to say hello, and he glances away because of the partner that he's with. It's very, 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 very disheartening. Yeah, so that happens a lot.